What's going on, guys? It's Mike's Moto Madness. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different and see where it goes and how you guys like it. I've been getting a lot of questions about what bike is a good bike to get, so I'm going to start off this series with that information. But this new series I want to do is going to be a how-to, and it's going to be motorcycle related. I'll be doing stuff like how to use your clutch, how to shift gears, as simple as that, all the way up to how to defensive drive and how to maneuver your bike at slow speeds, how to turn around on a two-way street, things like that that maybe people just don't know or haven't done yet. But for the first video here, we're going to call it how to choose your first bike. So for this first episode here, how to choose a starter bike. I've only been doing this a couple months, and I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten asking what's a good starter bike, what do I choose to begin with, how much is too much. The answer's really not that easy. It's going to depend a lot on rider's skill set and experience. You know, have you ever ridden a dirt bike? Have you ever ridden a motorcycle on the road? Are you new to riding altogether? How much do you weigh? Man, it is so hot today that even at 75 miles an hour, I am sweating. Like, my ankles are on fire right now from how hot it is. It says it's 95 out and my bike's running at 200 degrees and it is just cooking my ankles. So this video is going to be a how to pick a starter bike. It's not really relevant to riding, but it's definitely relevant to what a lot of people have asked, and I'm sure ask all the time. It's really going to depend on a lot of things. It's not just what bike's too much. The first question is, what style bike are you wanting? What kind of riding do you do, or are you going to do? You have to consider what's going to be comfortable and what's going to be practical. Do I think everybody should get a sport bike for their first bike? Absolutely not. Do I think it's a bad idea for somebody to get a sport bike as a first bike? Also absolutely not. It really just depends on the rider. The second thing is, what are your skills? Are you coming from dirt biking? Have you never touched a bike in your life? Do you know how to use a clutch? Those things are important to ask yourself before you pick out a first bike also. You've also got to decide what's right for your body type. I'm 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. For some people, my bike's going to ride a lot faster than it rides with me. If you're only 140 pounds, 60 pounds is a big difference on a bike's performance. That being said, if you're 300 pounds, I don't know that a 300cc sport bike's going to be right for you either. Broken down in categories, I'd say that if you're somebody that's about 150 pounds and you're looking at a sport bike, you need to probably be looking at a 300, maybe a 500, just to get started. You're going to probably get bored with it. Your starter bike is going to be something that you ride for a year just to get started. It's exactly that. It's going to be something that you can get the feel of riding. You can get the feel of how to turn, how to get going in traffic, how to stop in traffic, all that stuff, just to be comfortable with maneuvering so that when you have more power, you know how to control it. If you're not looking at a sport bike, you know, an 800 or 1000cc bike on a cruiser style or that kind of thing is really not that powerful. They do good, they get up and go, they'll cruise with traffic, but they're not as torquey, so you don't really have to worry quite as much about the power being too much for you on a 800 or 1000cc bike. If you're 200 pounds and up, I would consider getting a 600cc sport bike, or I guess even a super sport like an R6 or something like that, depending on your skill set. And if I were to go with a cruiser for myself that I would have started on, I would probably choose a Yamaha Striker, which was a 1300cc motor or something similar, just because it's enough power to haul us around, but it's not too much that you're going to lose control under power. I mean, you definitely could on an R6, but again, it's all about determining your skill set, you could kill yourself on a 300 pretty easy. The number one biggest thing that I would recommend for a starter bike, any starter bike, no matter who you are, is getting anti-lock brakes. Make sure it's ABS equipped. The reason I say that is just purely for the safety factor. You are way less likely to be involved in an accident or to lay your bike down if you have anti-lock brakes, especially as an unskilled rider. All it takes without ABS to lay your bike down is pulling the brakes too hard, going straight even, you can lay the bike down. The other thing that I think everybody should get for their first motorcycle is actually a motorcycle safety course. I don't know what everybody's states recommend. You'll have to look where you're at and see, is it required for you to do that in order to get your driver's license, or do you just have to take a test? Here in Colorado, where I'm from, you can do either or. You could just test to get your license, or you could take the motorcycle safety course, which includes the test, and then it's all taken care of for you. The reason I recommend that, I've done some riding before I ended up road legal, and I caught things in that class that taught me a lot about what to watch for and how to ride and where to position myself in lanes, and just things that you don't learn when you're riding by yourself. They're not just common sense things, but they make sense once you hear them. And I'll be doing some of that down the road in these videos. I'll be talking about some of that safety stuff, but it's definitely beneficial to actually dedicate, a day or two to a course like that, where you yourself can practice it and feel it with somebody that watches and helps you learn what you're doing wrong and points out how you can improve. Because one thing's for sure, it's not just the bike you choose for your first bike. You really have to make sure that your rider skill set is good enough for having a bike and for riding, no matter what bike it is. Ultimately, I'm sure that if somebody wanted to, they could have never ridden a bike before. They could pick up a 1000cc bike. They could be super careful and very uncomfortable, and they could probably ride it and get around just fine, but you don't want to ride a bike that's out of your skill set and that makes you uncomfortable. And man, if somebody finds a bike that has air conditioning, would you please let me know, because this is miserable. Look at that, it is exactly 100 degrees. Yuck. Hopefully you guys made it through this whole video and you enjoyed. Make sure to click that like button below if it was helpful, and subscribe. I do moto vlogs 3 times a week, so definitely click that button to check out more videos. Also, if you guys have any questions on my opinion, which might not mean very much, feel free to send me a message on my Instagram page. I'll put that link in the description below, or message me on YouTube, comment down below, anything that works for you guys. I really like the feedback. I like when you guys message me and comment on things. I really appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, guys.